How you doing?
Oh, can be better.
I could be better. Yeah, I could breathe.
Can.
You know, it's not even the breathing. It's the snot just pouring out that's more the thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like the constant drip.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing today? This beautiful Monday. We are working on an Audi. And unfortunately, we're not filming this. I really wanted to, but I feel like crap, guys. So it wouldn't have been good. My head is just pounding. So talking and thinking and doing all that just wasn't going to work out. But we took a bunch of notes. So if we ever get another one of these in, we'll be all set and ready to go. It's pretty cool how this works. This is the base model. And it has a cool touchscreen in the dash right here. That's not a touchscreen. It's just a screen. You have to use these knobs here in order to do anything on it. So it's just a screen. And then this is actually everything. So this is the brain, and it's in the glove box, and it just slides right out. But you'll notice the glove box is out right now. We just hooked it back up because we just needed the glove box out. But that radio, the brain, is a 6-channel amplifier. Can you believe that, Fernando?
No.
I know.
I don't believe it.
I still don't believe it. And that 6-channel amplifier powers the center channel, which is useless. It doesn't do anything other than play a ton of just nasty mid-range. It's just a ton of nasty mid-range. We have a tweeter here, a mid-bass here. That is coming from the radio. We have a pretty full range signal here. We have a set of components back here. But this is just we're going with just a coaxial down low instead of this, nasty tweeter up high. We are going to be doing a 6.5-inch mid bass here, a tweeter up in there. We'll get to which brand we're doing. And then in the back here is the factory subwoofer. It's one of those cool spare tire well subs. And again, no amplifier, it's just powered off the radio. We've taken this side of the car off. The battery is located right here. And this is where we're putting the amplifier. We're going with 2 amplifiers, kind of. The subwoofer is going to be the P300. Eventually it's going to be switched out for the P500. But right now the P500s are unavailable. You can't get them naturally. So for right now it's just going to be a P300, which we need to know because in a P300 the power harness is here, and on a P500 the power harness is here. So we need to make sure, which is good because everything's going to be on this side of the car, so it'll actually work out. We'll be making the harness longer to go over to this side. But then when the 500 comes in, it'll just unplug and it plugs in. So for those who don't know, the 5 and the 3 both use the same harness. It's no big deal. Power is more or less the same, even though it says 500 watts. It's not. It only takes an 8 gauge. But this area is where we're going to put a Audison Prima 8.9. The 8.9 is a 8-channel amplifier with 9 channels of DSP. It has one RC output to go to that. That's going to be DSP crossover all through that. It's an 8-channel amplifier, and what we're going to do is channel 1 and 2 are going to power the 2 tweeters. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8 are going to be the rears. So that's going to allow us to bridge those and get more power, obviously, to the mid-bass, make them sound more warm and fuzzy and all that fun stuff. Fernando has the door panels off right now because the customer got the basic sound treatment where we just concentrate the area around the speaker and behind the speaker. He's also getting fast strings. But let's take a look at those speakers because I spent my morning making brackets for them. So this is the factory, very cheap paper cone. It is going to be replaced by a set of Prima 6.5-inch mid-bass, and this is the bracket we made for it. It is 1.5 inches, 3 pieces of blown PVC to hold that speaker in the front door, and in the rear door we're going with the Prima 6.5-inch with the nice tweeter mounted there in the center. It has great off-axis. This thing sounds wonderful. It's a really nice sounding speaker. Very efficient systems. So in there again, we went with a double stack, so a 1-inch thick. These are countersunk, so the factory screws can go back in there and hold them in place. These are the rear door speakers. The tweeters I haven't got to yet, so I don't even know what we're doing for those. These are right here. At some point he'll get that off and I can make those. But I just got done making the amp mount So this is going to sit in that corner. We have 3 threaded nutserts that are going to hold this in place, and of course the amplifier is screwed in to that, and then this will go into that corner and sits like this, and all our wires and connections we'll be able to get to on the end. This amplifier, if you've never seen it before, as you can see, it's nice and small, very compact, perfect for what we're doing. It's all high level or low level input. It's made in the box. It comes with the high level input. You can solder RCAs onto this and or buy a harness with RCAs, but most of the time you're going to be doing this in a high level situation, such as this we're integrating into that factory system. Or you can go digital in with something like a Toshlink output on something, you know, if you have an adapter like a Zen or a Mobridge or something along those lines. Audison also has their own adapters that they use that are made by Mobridge, but you have your inputs, your outputs. The one of the cool things, there's many, is this rotator switch right here. What this allows you to do is you can do predetermined amplifier systems. So if you go to the website and you download the most current software, and we'll scroll back up here, and coming up here, and you'll see like this system. This is preset 6. So this is a 2-way active front plus rear plus external subwoofer. This is exactly the system we're doing. If you're going to be doing the same thing and you just want to get it in and get it up and running, you set this to 6. You do not need to plug it into your laptop, and it will set up the amplifier so that the front tweeter has a high pass Linkwix Riley of 3000. The 2 channels for mid bass are 80 and 3000. The rear is 80 and the subwoofer is 80 and down. Memory configuration is acoustic and rhythm for A and B, so you can tell it which one you want there. And that's it. You could just do that, and of course they have multiple ones that you could choose from. You can even use it to power a full system as a 5-channel with using 7 and 8 bridge to a small subwoofer. So this is a very utilitarian amplifier, has a lot of uses, but they're very helpful when doing something like a German car like this. It comes with low-level adapter too. Actually, it's not in the box. It's optional. When you come over and look at the roadmap, when you look at this guy, so this is what comes in the box, which is just to kind of get you started. Hang on. That's why you immediately go to the website. Optional kit is for the RCAs. But there again, it's just RCAs, so you can easily solder RCAs onto this. So to me, it's not even a point. But they could have also had them and we didn't get them. I don't know. But so that is now the Forza, which is the big brother of this. So the Forza is a little bit bigger, about yay big, and it's double the amount of power of this. But we thought with this, he doesn't want to, he just wants to improve the way the factory system sounds because it sounds terrible. We didn't need a lot of power to go with the efficient Prima speakers. So this should sound, this is going to sound amazing when we're done. I'm kind of excited. I love doing these amplifiers. Mine came with RCAs too, check the box. Are you sure it's the 8.9 and not the F8.9? Because I believe in the F8.9 it has these, and the box is sitting right here. So it's okay. Either way, we're not going to lose any sleep because we don't need them. Now on this, the cool thing about this is we checked it this morning, and there's no ANC, meaning there's no fake engine noise, there's no growl, there's none of that fun stuff. There's also no all-pass filters that we had to worry about. It does have factory loudness. And what that means for you and I when setting up the system, if you try to tune the system at low volumes, as you turn it up, that loudness is going to go away and it will affect your tune. So for this, we figured out where the loudness stops and where it begins, and we can play between those two. So we'll be tuning it with the loudness off at a higher volume, tune it. That way when it turns down, that loudness is still fully functional and doing what it needs to do. And we still have at optimum listening level a good amount of our sound, our tune on top of that. Thoughts on a Zen enclosure box with the LC5 1400, enough for 2 R2s. Rockfords? Yeah. Yeah. We did a set. We did that same system last week in the Mustang. That was a Zen enclosure with two P210s. It was fun. That looks the same template as you used for my A4. It is. It's the exact same. It's the exact same system you have in your car. It's the exact same. It's just the SUV version of your car. So that's when we checked it. We were checking it to hope that it was the same system that you had in your car, because we're like, oh, thank God. Can I run 6 speakers on a 4-channel and still get full potential for all 6? Yeah, of course you can. Obviously, yes. If you have, like, this is going to be 6-channel, and if we were doing a conventional 4-channel, then we'd just be using the passive crossovers. Passive crossovers on a high-end set of speakers are really nice crossovers and designed to optimize the performance of the driver, so there's no reason why you wouldn't get that. I turned the dependent loudness off. Oh, that's cool. I kind of like the loudness because it gives you more feel at lower levels, you know? Not everyone drives around with the system all the way up, so I like loudness. I mean, I think it's a cool thing, especially if you drive around with the volume at low level. It just makes the music sound more impactful and dynamic. Do you know if the MSC DSP training is going to be posted online? I can tell you right now, I'm gonna go no. They spent way too much money on that to make it an online thing. That's not to say they might not, but I don't think they're going to. That cost them a small fortune to put on that training, and to them, they look at that as an added value to carry the brand, which makes a bunch of sense in my mind. You know, when those guys used to work for Audison, we did the same thing. We flew out to California. We did the training. It cost a lot of money, and it never went online, and it never went past, you know, us just being there. Have you ever installed the Audison plug-and-play system for the Ford F-150? If so, what's your opinion? No, we have not. We tried desperately hard to. There's the subwoofer for it sitting right there. It just never works out. We've done enough F-150s that we have our systems that we like to put into them, and when we do something like that, it just, you know, we kind of run with our system because we know the outcome and we know what we're dealing with. So, you know, I'm sure it's fine. Did you ever get to hear that F-150 system in Dallas when it was there? No? Fernando never heard it either.
Nope, I ain't hearing no cars.
No, I mean, it was like 2 years ago. They had the big F-150 there. Remember they got in an accident on the way up? So they put the banner in front of like the rear passenger door or rear driver's side door.
No, I didn't hear that one.
No. Just purchased a Punch. Hold on. X500 for... No, he did not go overboard. Dude, you can never have too much power, guys. You can never have too much power, with the exception of maybe an 8K on something, you know, like 210s. Miserable right now. Oh boy. Anyways. Nobody wants to see me cough. Hold on, let me give this to Fernando for a second. How you doing, Fernando?
Oh, doing wonderful.
Say hi.
What's up?
Oh.
What's going on, guys?
God, I hate it when it hits you just in the right spot, you know?
Yeah, the description of the MSC training is exactly what I need. Of tuning my car, but in the final, okay.
Yeah.
2009 GMC Kicker 6.5 with a Kicker 404. What will be a louder upgrade? What will be a louder upgrade?
I wasn't listening. I couldn't hear. I was blowing my nose.
All right, 2009
Yeah.
Kicker 6.5.
KS, CS.
I have no idea.
Okay. No idea.
Kicker 404.
Oh, little 404.
Mm-hmm. So it's just looking for a...
I mean, that's a pretty efficient system, so... You know, probably take a 404 and bridge it to the front. Go with maybe some Q class up front.
Yeah.
You know, that would be a way to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the 404 is a tiny little amplifier, so it's made to work with the basic KS, CS style stuff, or KS. So if you want to go louder, you're gonna need something that can handle more power, put a lot of power to it, and have a efficient loudspeaker system. 200 watts to some components up front would be really nice. Yeah, I got, you know, caught some crud. You know, the joys of coming to work after vacation. What's up, Nando?
What's going on?
See, they all love it when you're on. Nando, thanks for the answer on the 6x9 morels at Tacoma. I'll definitely add deadening to the doors and around the speaker opening. Hope that's not a Delta variant. Got the D, bro. Got the D. No, it's just a cold. I got, you know, I went and got the shots and all that fun stuff back when that was cool to do. But no, it's just a crappy cold sinus thing. Going from hot to cold, going from the woods to here, you know, the body just can't take all that crap. Getting old. Yeah. Morel and Tacoma, good combo. Yes, yes they are. Morel and anything's a good combo. How you doing over there?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Perfect.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. I was just making sure. I just drilled it according to the factory one that we took out.
Yeah.
Wow. So those are the they use these little nipple things to get the doors on and off. That's cool. So it's not a push pin. Look at these. These are neat. So instead of a hole with a push pin, it's got like a little knuckle here and it snaps in. That's neat. I don't think I've seen it. I mean, we don't see that often.
No.
Nando saw the ARC1 custom blue LED. Oh, yeah. High 90s here at the moment. Been melting all month so far. Oh, I know, dude. You know, it's been hot, but it's been so humid. I mean, it's like thick. It's like, you know, even sick, I still try to go out and run because I'm stupid. And last week was just like trying to get air into your lungs. It's just like, oh, it's so bad. And it's just so hot. How would you know if a shop installed and tuned a DSP properly? Oh, man, that's that's a good question. I don't really know if there's an answer for that. Most of the time what we find is that people don't even tune the DSP. They just go in, they set up the crossovers, and they consider that done. Some of them will set up time alignment. The good places will obviously tune it. You know, if they charged you for a tune, that's usually the first thing, the first indicator. Like, we charge to tune your car. There's a dedicated amount of hours that you're paying for that, and we don't actually give you an option, so you can't not have us tune your car. If we're putting in a DSP, you're getting charged for that. If someone is not talking about the added charge for tuning the car, then chances are good they probably didn't tune the car any way, shape, or form. If they're just like saying, hey, it's $100 to install a DSP, you're not getting a tune. That's one of those things that you should ask about before you have them work on your car. You should ask them what type of tools they use. You know, if you're buying a DSP specifically to have it do what a DSP does, you need to talk to them and find out, hey, what tools are you using? Meaning, do you have an RTA? Are you relying on the DSP's RTA? How much experience do you have in this? Is there a car that you've done it on that I can listen to? You know, and just have that basic conversation with them to kind of get a feel for if they even kind of know what they're talking about. That'll tell you whether or not you're going to get a good tune. The other dead giveaway is if you're planning on doing like the 1C tune where you have a center image from the way it's tuned properly. If you sit in the car and you really don't hear anything in the general vicinity of the dash. So for example, a lot of people we found do not like dead center. They don't want it dead center. It just doesn't seem right. Plus, a lot of people lean when they drive, and we've noticed. you kind of pay attention to how people sit in their car. So we'll typically move our center between the gauge cluster here and the radio. This area is what we're going for. That way when they lean in, the center will move with them. So we typically go for this area. Very few people are sitting perfectly center with their head on the back of the seat. But if you're hearing everything from this side of the car, then they didn't tune it. That would also be my... it's so humid, it's a fog. It's ridiculous, right? Whew. You been running, Fernando?
No, every day. I'm running every day, man.
Will the Mustang be a shop car for examples? At some point, that would be nice. I mean, that would be wonderful. I mean, we have the stuff to do it. It's just a matter of us getting around to it. How much Stinger roadkill is your standard? You did my Chevy truck Friday and Saturday. Oh, for that we didn't. I was gonna say, wait a minute, we didn't do roadkill in that. Standard. Typically what we do is the basic roadkill. We have 3 packages. You have the basic, which is what he got here, which is like a half a sheet of standard roadkill per door. Then we have the basic plus, which is a little bit more. It goes to a sheet and a half per door, as well as a half a sheet of ultimate, which is the foam back stuff, which actually will go into the door panel. From that, we go straight to the ground zero full door treatment. So those are kind of the levels that we do. What's up? Hey, man.
What's up?
What's up, Fernando?
What's up?
High level, how do you do that shift to left, just an adjustment to your measurement or listening to center pod and moving it around? Listening to it in the end and moving it around. Basically, when you're measuring, always measure to be as precise as possible. The speaker is always going to be 50 inches away from your head, or whatever measurement you come up with. It's never not going to be 50 inches away from your head for the most part. I mean, if you lean 2 inches over, okay, I get it. But as long as you have a focused point, so if you put if this is your center point here, it is always going to be 50 inches away, and it's always going to be 30 inches away. But the ratio is more or less going to stay the same. I mean, if you move your head, 2 inches this way, it's going to stretch 2 inches that way. Yeah, of course the center is going to move with it. But what you want to adjust is the level. So that's why DSPs have level control. So you can turn this speaker up or down. And as you're doing that, that's going to move the position of the center channel, because you're decreasing the volume on this side, which is naturally going to increase the volume on this side, which is going to pull the speaker either this way or go that way. So that's what the volume control is for. I'll call up. Yep, by all means, man. Greetings from Kingston, Jamaica. Hola. Where to purchase just the foam for the door panels? Yeah, honestly, I have no idea. That's a good question. That egg crate foam, I know other companies make it, but I haven't seen it here in the U.S. I know Nick Apicilla uses a 1/8 inch foam that he just sticks on things, but I think that's the vapor barrier that he's using it for, not the egg crate on the door. But if you find some, let me know. South Africa in the house. What is the easiest car to work on? I mean, I don't think it's necessarily an easy car. It's like an easier system, I think, is more to the point. But even that isn't always the case. But like if you're, if you have a car where we have to do like a car we've done a million times, like you get an F-150 in here where we got to put ground zero kit front, ground zero kit rear. We got to make custom panels because you're going with a higher end speaker that needs a thicker baffle. They're going with 2 big amplifiers in the back as opposed to, let's say, a 5-channel. Those are the systems that end up taking like longer periods of time. So it's the same car. Like we could do one F-150 where we have a 5-channel amp, basic install, basic DSP, done, sounds great, get it out the door. The next one could be the same truck with way more equipment. Best drill bits in your opinion. It's funny you should ask. I actually just bought a brand new set today because, like an idiot, I broke one. So I like this set right here from Milwaukee. It's like 20 bucks off Amazon. I probably have a link to it somewhere on DNF tool drawer. So did I say Milwaukee? Jesus, that shows you how my head feels. Makita, thank you, Fernando. But no, this is it. We both have a set of those, and I was working on the truck this past weekend, and my 9/64 that we use for the wire ruler, I was holding the amp rack out like this, and it kind of fell, and I caught that, my drill, and it bent the bit. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I ruined that one bit. I know it's like one bit ruined. I could have just bought a bit, but I've had them for like 2 years. So I was like, screw it, I'll just buy a new set. Plus, that means I can take the other set and I can put them over here next to the router, so that if we need to drill holes, like today when I was making all the speaker rings, I had to keep coming over there to over here. And I was like, it's driving me crazy. So now we have a set over there. What's Fernando doing? Cutting his hair? No, Fernando is, what happens is when you do this, when you router these out, it puts a V cut on it, and he's really picky, so he likes to take the Dremel and flatten them out. And I could have just done it with a Forstner bit, because I have a whole set of Forstner bits sitting right over there, but I didn't think about it. So I apologize. I should just put the Forstner bit in this drawer so that I can do that. You guys do appointments only? Yes, we do. That's, yeah. On a Chevy Silverado, how do you use the AR and DSR1 together? Because the DSR1 is not compatible with that truck. AR is built into a DSR1, so there is no AR. It's already built into the DSR1. Depends on what year GM you're talking about. So for example, like the GM we just did last week, we use the DGM3 harness, which is the harness that will plug into that. All this harness is designed to do is plug into it, and you're using the DSR1 because it has high level and low level input. So it will allow you to just simply plug in, and you're not reprogramming the radio like you do with the DFO2 or the CH3. It's just a nice convenient T-harness that they give you with all your wiring and whatnot. It's the same for the Nissan, and it's the same for the Toyota. These harnesses just allow you to do basic high level to low level installs with the DSR1, and or whatever. A lot of the times we just stock these harnesses because they plug into other systems, but that's what you're doing there. Then you said 9:30 seconds for 4-inch zip ties in the wire rulers. I say it's 9/64. So I'm sorry if I said 9:30 seconds, 9/64. This one right here. Now on the wire ruler, if you do happen to get one, which you should because they're awesome, on the wire ruler, we burn it in there so you don't ever have to worry about forgetting. So on it tells you 4-inch zip ties are 9/64, 8-inch zip ties are 5/32. 2 4-inch zip ties will fit through a standard hole. This hole that's on the wire ruler is actually a 5/32, so that you don't have to like change your bit. You can fit, if you do all, like the 9/64s will fit 2 4-inch zip ties through the same hole. It's like when you see us where we do like wire, and there's a zip tie through each one, you still use the same one. If you're gonna do a 4-inch zip tie and an 8-inch zip tie, then you'd need to jump up to the 5/32. Or the 5/32, like you could fit a single 8-inch zip tie through the 9/64s, but if you're gonna be daisy chaining them, then you're gonna need the bigger hole. So we just tell you to use the bigger hole, because you never know when you're gonna need to daisy chain them. And the nice thing is too, is even on the smaller piece, it still has the same information. So we tried to make it as simple as possible so that no one would, oh, what am I supposed to use? It's on both ends. Try to think that stuff through just a tad. Dean, Metro makes a 1/4 inch, 6.5 inch spacer, or, well, yeah, so does Pack. Sometimes we use them, sometimes we don't. Will the FO2 harness work to wire in the speed wire on a 2012 F-150? Yes, you can use speed wire. It's a DFO2, it's not an AFO2. Oh no, they make the AFO2. Yes, you are correct. You can use speed wire off of an AFO2, as we would. So, yeah, because the AFO2, so one of those, like on the F-150, has the amplifier in the center console, which is just a murder to get to. If that's that one, that's what we would use. We'd run speed wire from the center console out to the amplifiers in the rear. Yep. Ruler tells you. Yes, it does. Yeah, I think it says that 3. What does it say? No, nothing is simple, man. We didn't go simple size. It's 530 seconds, man. We're not going simple sizes here. No, none of that. No. 530 seconds. Yep. So if I was not doing the kicker key 200.4, could I use a DSR1 and connect it to the OME radio on that passport? Yeah, we could do that with anything. I mean, So, all right. The plan was, just to fill you guys in, was he wants, and this is a very common system, we want to do a kicker key front stage upgrade. It's a wonderful way to do it because it eliminates, for one, it's more cost effective because the key does all the tuning for us and you. We can take a kicker key, put it in front stage mode. It's 4 channels for the front, 2 channels for tweeters, 2 channels for mid. Radio has just 2 channels of output. We connect that up to it, and it does all the tuning, it does all that, and it's done. Okay? If we have to do a DSR1 or any form of DSP, well, then we automatically have to charge. For one, we have to install the DSP, so you have a DSP install charge. 2, you now have a tuning charge because we have to tune that. It takes all of 10 minutes for a key to do its thing. Now, most of the time, we end up having to run it at least twice just because we don't like it the first time, and we'll move stuff around and get it to where we want it. Do a little playing, because there are some adjustments you can do with the key just by simply using the radio and moving the mic around. So if it doesn't get it right the first time, you play with it a little bit, and then you can get it right the second time. Third time at best. But with the DSR1, we're automatically pulling out the DMRTA, setting the car up, measuring the seat, doing all that fun stuff, and we now have an hour and a half of tune time. So now whether it's, whether you're just doing something as simple as a DSR1, or you can all the way up to a D5.1300, or you're doing something like the Audison or whatever, now you have DSP tune time. So the price goes up considerably after that. Illusion is badass. Yes, it is. Oscar knows. Only if you looked at my ruler you sent me. Yeah, you gotta look at those things. Pro tech tip of the day. When you get a car in the bay that you've never worked on, or your garage or whatever it is, you have to think about the system from start to finish. So when we got this car in, we haven't done a lot of these SUVs. Done a couple, but usually it's something basic, like just adding a powered subwoofer into the back. Simple enough, okay? That's no big deal. There's a factory sub back here in the back, so all you'd have to do is put your high level to low level adapter in here, and you're all set. For the most part, I mean, we're gonna measure the output voltage, make sure it's under 10 volts. If it is golden, we'll use the amplifiers, high level to low level, it's over 10 volts. Then we'll use a LC1I or something like that. We'll also check for fake ANC, so we'll turn the radio all the way down. If you just have a digital multimeter, you just leave it hooked up and you'll rev the engine up and see if you get any numbers moving while the engine's in. So this one's a little different. So the thing you have to do when working on a car that is an unknown is always test for everything. So you kind of need to make a list and you need to go through the steps. So if you're integrating high level to low level, All right, you need to make sure, okay, what does my high level to low level signal look like? That's where an RTA comes in. I know a lot of you guys don't have those. Don't worry, one day you all will. You also need to see if our primary way of turning the amplifier on is using DC offset. You need to test for DC offset. You need to test for ANC. You need to test for balance of fader. You need to test for polarity. So these are all the things you walk through. Once you have all that, then you can move forward with the install. But don't take anything else apart until you have the answers to those questions, because what happens if you get into this install, you find out it has ANC. You find out that ANC can only be programmed off. So this needs to go back to the dealership and they have to have it programmed off. That's not something you want to have the car all apart, give it back to the customer, and then they go and have that taken care of. So, do what you need first and do it in order. In this case, we spent the first hour this morning testing all our stuff, taking our notes, getting it the way we wanted it. We're confident we can move forward. We start taking the car apart. I started building panels, and that's where you end up. I'm asking, do they make a 1/4-inch spacer too? Amp does. Pack has one. Hey, from Missouri, 98 degrees, 200% humidity, wonderful day. Oh yeah, that would suck. How long ago did you cut the tip of your finger off? Let's see, I've been here. So, was it 9 years I've been here? 10 years I've been here. This will be 10 years this year here. So probably 15, 16 years ago, if not longer. Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah, it was a while ago. Whenever I can tell you exactly, if you're a Canon guy, it was right when the Canon 30D came out, because I bought the Canon 30D 2 days before it, because it just came out, and then I cut the tip of my finger that I need to press the shutter button. So that's how I know when I did it, but I don't remember what year that was. So if you really want to know, find out when the 30D came out. How are you integrating into the Audi, because it's most likely had fiber optic? So this comes back into the pro question that Bobby asked, in which case, before you start on a system, you need to do all the testing to figure out what it does. If this is a base model system, it's not fiber optic. It's a 6-channel output from the factory tuner. So all of this is high level. It has active loudness control, so as the volume goes up, the loudness rolls down. It does have an EQ curve on it that actually doesn't look too bad. So that's kind of nice. So these are all things that you would do before you get started. If it did have fiber optic, not a big deal. At that point, we'd reach out to either I would reach out to Audison, because Audison does make a piece for fiber optic to integrate into German cars. It's basically a rebranded Mobridge piece. So I probably would have just reached out to Mobridge if Audison didn't have the answer for me right away. Third time's a charm. Third time sucks. Which key 501 kicker downfiring 10-inch box you recommend? I would go with the 12. It's exactly like yours. Yep. Is the kicker key 501 a good pair for the kicker shallow 12 with radiator? Yes, it is. It's a wonderful pair for that. I have it in Haley's car right now, and Haley's car right now has the L7T in a downfiring box. It sounds wonderful, so that would also be wonderful. It's basically the same motor structure. What rear under seat enclosures for 2020 Ram F-150? There's a couple. It really just depends on how much money you want to spend. If you want like flamboyant and sexy and all that, obviously check out like MTI Acoustics. There's another company in Georgia called Traffic Jams that also makes really nice boxes. If you're going for loud, obnoxious, Rhino line style box, you could check out Fox Acoustics. And if you want something that's more relatively normal, you could check out like A Trend. Those guys, that's just basically going to be a normal carpet box type style. But there you go. When you go to set, run the DEQ. Mine showed a 5 dB. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. You get really excited about DEQ. I'm not that excited about it. What's your most anticipated product coming out this year? Ooh. The one I can't talk about. That's really about it. I mean, we know a lot of products are coming out from other manufacturers, but I don't know if there's one that's super exciting to talk about. I'm like, what is this? This is like this. You've got a little thing here. I'm anxious to see the new Morel amps because they've only been talking about them for 2 years. Those will be neat. They got a box of them in, so we might get one. There's a chance. I'm not holding my breath because if we get one, great. If we don't, I'll wait till the next run. But their amplifiers, their new amplifiers that they have coming out are pretty sexy. A lot of the stuff that we know is coming out is put on hold until next year because of part cost. It's very hard for a manufacturer to bring an amplifier out right now when the parts were originally like 88 cents for a piece, a little piece that they need, and they might need 5 of those. And now that piece is $20. So you went from a total cost of $22.40 to $80. That's not good business to buy an $80 product if at some point it's going to go back down to its reasonable amount of money. So we'll see. There's a lot of neat things that these guys are talking about. I honestly don't think we're going to see a lot of them until the end of 2022. Some of the really nice stuff that we know is coming out. So, but it's not all bad though. I mean, it's not all bad. Some of this, my opinion is I'd rather wait for Hot and Sexy because it's not like, if you have a system in your car, it's not like it's going to be the last system you're ever going to own. No. More than likely, most of you guys are going to be buying whatever the cool new hotness is because you're like, oh, I got to have that. So we'll see. All right, let's get caught up here. Did you say the stuff you want to mention may be announced at Dallas at K-Fest? No. Most manufacturers that we've talked to are not going to be announcing anything at K-Fest. I think what you're going to see at K-Fest is manufacturers giving a lot of these guys hands-on for products that they might not have been able to get their hands on just because of the short supply. And also just kind of, there's no reason to bring out new stuff when you can't get the current stuff made. So it just doesn't make sense. One of the things that we were talking about with one of the manufacturers is they have a set of speakers that a lot of people have never heard those speakers. And it was like, hey, people always ask about these. Why don't we do a test and tune on these speakers as your class? The other thing too is we're going to be doing a class with Kenwood. And the class on Kenwood is going to be talking about other things than replacing the radio and the dash and how Kenwood can do these things for you. So we're calling it the Modern Deck and 4, which doesn't involve a deck. It just involves better equipment. So the Epicenter Micro seems cool, and I'm not an Epicenter kind of guy. Well, you should be because you listen to old music, so you should like it. It's going to be fun. I know you don't need any. Want help with Yachty. You're funny, Christian. Did Nando go home? Give Nando some love. Nando's right here. He's just being quiet because he's focused. He's trying to get this side of the car done for me. Yeah. Because I'm just going to be here. So for the rest of this day and a half, I'm going to be going between this corner of the car and that corner of the car. So the morning was spent me getting him ready to get to that point and him getting ready for me to have his stuff done so he can get to that point. So just to recap, he's already taken the door panels off of the car and he's already got the basic sound treatment in, which is a half sheet in each door. What he was waiting for me to do this morning was to get the speaker brackets made. So this is the speaker bracket. Hold on, put the wire in the door. So this is the speaker bracket for the front speaker. It's made out of 3 pieces of 1/2 inch blown PVC to replicate this chintzy speaker that was in there. But as you can see, it's a super deep speaker. I wanted to make sure I was able to move my speaker up into the door. We are still using fast strings, but this mid bass is going to go in there. So you can imagine making these took some time. The rears were no different. We still had to do the same thing for the rear. So while he was getting that ready, I was building these for him. Also, I had to take this side of the car apart. So the passenger side of the car is disassembled, and we made the mount for the amplifier to go here. So this is all. So what he was trying to do, since I got his products ready for him, is he was getting this area ready for me. That's why I came on right now to do this, because I can't get in here yet without him out of the way. So he was using the time while we're talking to get these done, so that now I'm all set and I can stop talking to you guys. You want to talk to them, Fernando, while I go to work?
What are we doing?
I know, right? But anyways, that's it. Tonight is Monday.
Yes, it is. All day.
All day is Monday. Woo! So what does that mean? What's happening tonight, Fernando?
Tonight at 6:30, we're gonna have fundamentals.
Ooh.
Exactly.
We're gonna do math.
I don't want to.
But don't worry, we're gonna do some math, but at the end there's a cheat sheet. It's always a cheat sheet, right? You don't have to write it on your hand, you just gotta hit print and or store. But yeah, so tonight fundamentals comes back. We're really excited about that. I mean, really excited about that. Put together another little cool fundamental program for you. So we'll do that at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time over on the Facebook. I also found out today, I got a text message from Bill Frog at Kicker. And I know it's a ways away, but it seems like August 31st, I'll be on Kicker's chat, whatever they call that, on Mask. So we'll talk more about that as we get closer, because we got a couple other things we need to announce late next month. When can we talk about that? Hang on a second. The 16th. We have an announcement on the 16th. So August 16th, we have an announcement that we can do finally, which I really want to talk about it now, but we told me to wait till the 16th. Dallas is the 26th through the 30th through the 29th, and then on the 31st, you'll get a tired version of me over on the Kicker thing. So that's what we got coming up. Oh, we also have, hold on. Is that the 21st? Oh, we didn't write it on here.
What?
The 21st. You're leaving at 4, so that's the day Seth is coming in. So on August 21st, Fernando leaves at 4. Yeah, in August.
Really? Is it 21st?
Yeah, it's what it's written here. I'm gone at 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 21st, man.
7,
No, 27th will be in Dallas. It's the week before we go to Dallas. So the 21st, we'll have Seth Hostetter from JVC Kenwood on here talking about something. So August, next month, is a really big month for us. You guys stay tuned. It'll be fun. Otherwise, we'll talk more tonight. So you guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
Woo, where's Fernando? There he is. Say hi. Hey. How's everybody doing today? This is not a Ford. Thank God. So we have a Mercedes-Benz AMG C300. And today for a Q-Class. Getting the cool Q-Class subwoofer. One of the cool things I like about this box is that you can mount it like this, or you can lay it flat. This is something that's, I think they did a really nice job on. Plus this carpet, oh my gosh, if you ever get the opportunity, this carpet it's so nice. They do such a nice job with this box. I get it when it lays flat, it does that weird angle thing. Hey, it's different, but you know, in the SUVs, you could set it like this. It's pretty nice. If you're real crazy, you can rotate the dust cap, of course. The one bummer is they stopped making the grills for these because nobody was buying them. So naturally, they stopped, because I found that out, because I'm a grill guy. I like selling grills. But apparently, you know, come on, Kicker, bring the grill back. Hashtag bring the grill back. But this is going in here, and that's where the Kicker love stops. One of the things about this car that all the reading we did on it, we found out was it's very voltage sensitive. So we wanted to make sure we went with an amplifier that was small, compact, and wasn't as picky as some of the other big guys. So we went with the Rockford Fosgate 750.1 T750, little micro amplifier, smaller power supply, smaller everything. So big bass, smaller stuff. The nice thing is that it also tucks in here. You can't even, built this amp rack to mount it. bolts into place. And then there's this piece of carpet that has the basketball in it that's gonna go back inside. You don't even know it's there. You just have the one finished end coming out. So I'm waiting to put that back in. Fernando's finishing up the bass knob right now. And the one cool thing about these cars that we found out through our research, and then of course, you know, there's something to keep in mind. All right, pro tip of the day. Bobby's probably not here, so he's not gonna hear the pro tip of the day. American Bass is in the house. It's one thing to get the information. So like you find information, somebody tells you something, you read something, you learn something about something. Fernando looks comfy. Always, look at that. Look how comfy he is. See, doesn't that look comfy? You feel comfy? Mm-hmm. It's nice, warm, and small. Anyways, somebody gives you some information. You always want to validate that information. Meaning, if someone says, don't hook up to that speaker, hook up to this speaker. Okay, cool. I'm a curious guy. I want to know why. So always validate the information that somebody gives to you, or you read, or you check. In this case, this was a base model system in that it has these here, these little speakers. There's tweeter pods, but there's no tweeters here. So it's just these, and then the kick mid bass that's up here behind this panel. That right now the only company making a replacement for that is Focal that I've seen. There might be others over in Germany or whatnot, but Focal does make the replacement driver for this, in case you all are wondering. Anyways, this speaker wire and this speaker wire, all right here. The cool thing is this whole piece of carpet, it's one piece, it just pops right out, which allows you to get in there and check everything. So we were able to RTA this speaker and RTA that speaker. And believe it or not, this speaker puts out more low-end response than that speaker. It's crazy, I know, right? Because like that's the mid bass, but no, the sound coming up to this driver on the RTA there was more low-end response on this speaker than on that. It was in there again. You had to look at it, and it was like, wow, yeah, right. There's like right there. This has got more signal, so we didn't use that. We used this one, and I was like, wow, that's pretty strange. But those are the things, you know. Pro tip, you know, you gotta validate, believe, but validate. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. You know, so there you go. All right. We do loads of these in the UK, right? I know. We do loads of Fords. I bet you we got you on the F-150s. US and okay, yep, nope. All right, let's see what we got. All right. Love those little Rockford amps. I know, they're one of my favorites. Any better piece to undo factory EQ time alignment for the Civic 2020 Touring that are better than the... Right now, there's nothing. There's nothing other than just leaving it in place and going after the fact. Can a wireless solar powered GPS get me into the Clean Wire Club? I don't know. I mean, post it and see what happens. If it looks cool, I mean, why not, right? Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fernando says okay, so do it. You know, see what happens. You know, worst thing it can be is like everyone will go, oh God. I heard that we will be having a Morel demo car for K-Fest at our shop. Nice. Well, I know, talking with Natasha last week, she said that, God, whose car is going to be there? Do you remember? I'm totally drawing a blank. I know, I feel so bad because I love his work. It'll come to me in a minute. His car was going to be there, but there again, who knows? These things are constantly in flux. We're just hoping that they do the training. My dash lights and interior lights, gear shift lights are not turning off after installation. Ooh. Amp Pro CH41 in my Grand Cherokee. I removed the device. Everything went back to normal. Any ideas? Off the top of my head, no. Other than maybe it's a bad Amp Pro. Definitely you want to call Amp and ask them about that one. My guess is they'll probably have you send it back. Hey, missed it last time, but mic sounds like it had some background noise and people say I sound quite quiet. Any suggestions? If you're doing a show like this, okay, so one of the things we're going to talk about, our class this time at Knowledge Fest is going to be about that specific question. Designing a kit and also knowing the limitations of your products, meaning devices that you're using for capturing video and stuff like that. So for example, right now we are using the phone and I'm at arm's length. I have my hand cupped around the bottom of the phone like this, so it's capturing my voice and pushing it into the microphone. When I go to talk to Fernando, or when I switch it to him, I actually drop the phone a little bit so that my hand isn't covering the microphone. Sorry. Fernando, say something.
Say something.
Now he is going to sound a little bit farther away because he's about 1.5 feet farther, but the farther I go away from him, the worse it's going to sound. There are a couple mics that have a front and back microphone, which we actually bought, but they sound worse because they don't have amplification built into them. If you're going to be doing anything more than arm length away, I would recommend getting something like a Rode VideoMic Pro that has a boom style amplified microphone built into it, and that way it will sound better. If you know, even when we're using the Canons, the M100 that we use, it's only 4 feet away from me, and it's designed for that. Anything past that, like when Fernando talks, you don't hear him as well because he's 6-7 feet away from the mic, and it gets real quiet. The microphone is actually trying to, they're self-leveling, so it's trying to pick up more sound, so it makes the background noise way louder. Anyways, I know none of you guys care about any of that stuff. I can just watch them. Oh, they're talking about stuff. No, so anyways, back to car stereo. Are there any VHS cameras still on the market? I'm investing all my pennies into VHS. I still actually have my VHS camera, thank you very much. I have 2 of them. What's up from Texas? What you vlog with to get so smooth? This is an iPhone. And then the lenses we use are image stabilized from Canon. What's up? Also from Texas. Texas in the house. We'll be there. God, we'll be there in less than 4 weeks. Today's 4 weeks. 4 weeks and counting. Can't wait. Knowledge Fest Dallas. What's the best budget mic you've used for vlogging? Oh God. Okay, so this is clearly going in that direction. Sorry, guys. All right, hold on. Budget mic. See, that's the thing. You get what you pay for. But this guy right here. All right, so this is the VideoMic, the Rode VideoMic something. I think I just actually replaced this mic. This is the one that you hear every time I'm doing the top-down camera. So there again, thank you. I'm only 3 feet away from it. If we're gonna go more than that, we use these, which are the Rode VideoMic Pros, I guess. When you hear Fernando talk and it's a GoPro, we're using this guy right here, which is I think this is the VideoMic Go, which is just a little Rode guy here that plugs into the GoPro. This is the VideoMic, this guy from these guys. This is the one that has a front and back microphone. If you're using a camera like a regular DSLR, this one's pretty nice because it has a front, back, and it has a back and a front. So if you're interviewing somebody, but on a phone, it's terrible because there's no amplification on a phone. So it just drops off and doesn't sound good. I bought that for the Boring Life podcast, and it didn't work out so well. So even on that, we typically just use that. And if worse comes to worse, like, if it's just you talking, I would pick up one of the new Rode makes the new single lavaliers. It's just a black thing that clips here, and then something that'll attach to your phone, and it's got an amplifier in it. They're like 99 bucks, I think, or 120 bucks. Those are really sweet. I'm gonna get a set of those for Haley and I just haven't got around to it yet. All right, back to expert series would be good. Always. Or Alpine. All right, so what are we looking at here? Dean, the truck is still sounding great. Going to get a head unit. What do you recommend for the Tacoma? I have the kicker key set up. Well, I mean, the problem is right now it's hard to come across head units just because of the shortage on chips and stuff like that. But, my go-to is always going to be Kenwood, so I would recommend looking into some form of Kenwood Exelon. That would be nice. If you can get it, the 706 is kind of like the go-to, Why Why do manufacturers make more 4 ohm if 2 ohm gives more volume? It doesn't. See, that's the big myth. It all comes down to ohm load manipulation. So, for example, that's a good point you brought that up, actually. We happen to have an amplifier that the reason why you make dual 2s and dual 4s has nothing to do with how much power they're going to create on the amplifier. It just has to do with what amplifier you're using. So, for example, on this Rockford T750, if we take a look at the box, on the power rating right here, if you'll notice, it says at 4 ohms, it's 500. At 2 ohms, it's 750. And at 1 ohm, it's also 750. This uses a feature called DC straight. This is not common, but what it basically tells you is that this is a bit more of a forgiving amplifier. If you have a 1 ohm or a 2 ohm load, whatever your combination of subwoofers are, you're going to get the 750 watts. It's just how the amplifier was built. Now, you look at other amplifiers, for example, like the Kicker. The current Kicker class will do 1 ohm. Previous generations would do 2 ohm. Now, if you're going to run one subwoofer, you'd want a dual 4. And if you're going to run 2 subwoofers, you'd want a dual 2. If you want to know more about ohm loads and funny things like that, you can head over to Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips, go to the Fundamentals playlist, and there we talked all about, we did a short, little tiny 5-minute video where we kind of went through and talked about combinations, pairing, series, and parallel, and how to, get a desired ohm load. But that's why, it just literally just comes down to what ohm loads you need for the amplifiers. The amplifiers are the same amount of power, so if you have one amplifier that at 2 ohm puts out 800 watts, somebody else may have a 800 watt amplifier at 1 ohm. It's still 800 watts. It's not like if you ran the 800 watt at 2 ohm down to 1 ohm, you get 1600 watts. You wouldn't. You get a blown amplifier because it's not capable of doing that. Any new better piece reasonable to... Okay, I read that one. There isn't anything. 2014 Sierra with Bose. How can I add an aftermarket amp and hedge in it? Pull it all out. Dash gate, wiring harness, pick up some iData stuff, call it a day. Just stuff comes out. There's T harnesses and whatnot. All right. What's up, Dean? Nothing. Fernando, what's up? Hey. He's just finishing up the bass knob. How's it coming? Got it? Ooh, he got the bass knob in. I don't think the sub's not hooked up right now. No, because I had to take it out I got to put the back of the car back together. When you're doing the unboxing of the new 45th anniversary amp, as soon as they send it to me, we do have a box that showed up today, this one, but you guys don't get to see what's inside of that. You know what's inside of this, Fernando?
No, what is it?
No, it's what you've been waiting for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the finished. It's the Gold Master. You guys will find out about that soon enough, probably in a couple months. No, we're just waiting. As soon as the 45th anniversary. Oh, hold on, that piece has to go in first. As soon as the 45th anniversary shows up, and for those of you who don't know, we're talking about the 45th anniversary. Morel's 45th anniversary amplifiers have been small production of them made, and we may or may not be getting one. If we do get one, you guys will find out right away, and we'll be doing an unboxing and throw it into Fernando's car as soon as it comes in, because we promised we'd do that, and well, it's Morel, so of course we're going to do that. But yeah, so we're pretty excited. That's another one that's got some really cool features like DC straight that gives you, or we're calling it that'll do the ohm load thing. It's Class AB, which I know you guys love Class AB, so it'll be really fun. Is it possible to get an appointment with your shop? It's not impossible, but it can be difficult from what I've been told. Honestly, we don't know. I honestly don't know. This is the install bay. The install bay is not attached to the retail store. There's no phone from the retail store that comes into this bay. The retail store is 4 buildings down that way. We don't go, the only time we're over there is when we need like a fuse or a fuse holder, or we forgot to get something for the install. I don't ever, if I'm there and someone calls by chance and I get to talk to them, wonderful. But I'm over here from 9:30 to 6:30 working. Sometimes we get done early and I'll go over and make phone calls, you know, but it's not like we have a set time that I can do that. Is that a bad idea? Would it be cool? Yeah, I agree. But there again, it's not my store. I'm an employee. Fernando's an employee. We just work here. So we kind of have to play the same rules. So I know a lot of people like, oh man, you know, I've been calling. It's like, yeah, I know, but I don't know because I'm not there and I don't get to see the phone logs and I don't do any of that stuff. We're just installers. So it's a weird thing and I apologize, and I'd really love to do your car. Don't get me wrong. I want to do as much of this as we can. We're constantly busy and we constantly love working on stuff. That's why we do this. But it's something I have no control over. Perfect. Okay. Sorry, car Bluetooth mic has background noise on calls in my car audio system, and on calls I sound quite well. Move the mic. I mean, I would always try moving the mic. Most of the time with a Bluetooth mic, there's a couple different places you can put it. Some of the radios also have features built into them for noise canceling, but this is our go-to spot here. Some people like to put it here. Other people will put it here. We typically like this spot. It sounds the best. It gets as far away from this noise here. If you have cheap windshield, sometimes you will pick up windshield noise, and if you have a sunroof, sometimes that'll happen too. But what sound deadener do you prefer? I mean, for the most part, we use two different types. We use Roadkill and we use the Ground Zero door kits. But there are plenty awesome stuff out there. Any integration for record? No, not yet. Not 2021. Prototype shell mount 3-inch sub. That'd be cool. New Honda factory audio delete kit sold by one, no one, but need by all Honda owners. Dude, trust me, man. My heart is with you. You know, every time we talk to these guys, it's like Honda. Hey guys, remember Honda? And it's like, yeah, it's on the list. It's like, yeah, well, could we bump it up a bit? But you got to remember when you're looking at boxes sold, which is what these guys look at, it's like Ford, Chevy, Dodge. They sell so much more stuff than those. Not only that, it's not a matter of like who sells more cars. It's who sells more cars where the person buying the car is willing to upgrade the car. Hondas, like Civics, yeah, I mean, everyone updates a Civic because it's a Civic, but for some reason, it's just, I don't know, man, they're just not getting on board with the Honda. I mean, they still don't even make like good radio interfacings for Honda. The phone is an installer's worst nightmare. It can be if it says Android on it. What company makes a T-harness to feed aftermarket amps from the factory Bose amp connections? Depending on the age of the car, what I typically do, obviously if it's a newer vehicle, you have PAC makes the APH line. So like they have the APH GM2. If it's older than that, then I typically just go to Metra, and in the top right-hand corner, they have a search tab. I type in General Motors amp bypass, and it'll pull up every single harness that they make. And from there, I can kind of find what I need if they make it, and if they don't, then they don't. Y'all sell Scar. Most of them know we do. Those guys that are calling know we do. All right, so Fernando's gonna do the test now. This is something we do anytime we finish a car that's high level. And what this test is comprised of is making sure that, for one, the ANC that we tested for in the beginning wasn't hiding from us, because it's been known to happen. Two, make sure DC offset is working the way it's supposed to. Make sure that the trunk opens and closes without causing god-awful bass heart attack stuff. Make sure that when you put it in drive and reverse. So the whole test is designed around making sure that the subwoofer is performing properly in the car. Yes, you can email Paul. He does do pretty okay with email. The more specific you are, the better with him. Tag, of course, rattles. That's a bonus. Now he's going to open the driver's door so you can pop the trunk from the front. And you open the door here. to make sure that nothing happened there. I'll close the trunk. There's the ambulance, someone's having a bad day. Now he's gonna start it up again, go through the same process and just open and close the driver's front door. Ooh, you can hear that tag rattle. Hey, yeah, I mean, we'll get to it at some point. If you're patient, all things come to patient people. Yeah, we did the pro tip before you, Bobby, sorry. What's up? I was in the house. See, now we opened the door there. We didn't get that. So we're golden. Now keep in mind, we test for all this before we actually get to, long before we get to this point. Ground zero, door kits for the win. Tommy who? Anyways, we test for all that long before we get to this point. That's part of the beginning of the install, is spending the first 15, 20 minutes just making sure that everything, ooh, we got new seat covers. Making sure that everything was doing what it was supposed to. All right, let's get down here to the bottom. Do you have to worry about ANC when adding a Zen or a Mobridge in a Ford? No, you don't. So, yeah, once you do that, all that's negated because that's built into the factory amplifier. All that stuff goes bye-bye. The only time you ever really have to worry about ANC is if you're doing an Amp Pro and you're retaining some of the factory speakers, or you're doing a Chrysler and you're doing just a Sub Pro. So the Chrysler Sub Pro, you need the ANC bypass module. The GM comes with the ANC bypass. Is the next one on? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but yeah, when you're doing like one of those, you're golden. Pull the meter out, you know. We got a lot of them. Yeah, so, yeah, well, I can't show you that because it's got top secret stuff in it, but yep, stuff on the bench. All right. I have a 2021 GMC Sierra with Bose. What converter do I need to get signal to an amp? There is nothing. There's nothing for a 2021 Bose, man. Unfortunately, the product for that existed and then it got recalled, and because of the chip shortage is what they're saying, is they have not been able to re-release the product in its new state. At some point it will be available. Really what you're looking to do is the 2021 Sierra with Bose. There's two different versions of the Bose system. There's the basic Bose system that just has like corner speakers, corner mid bass in the door, rear speakers, and a sub in the center console. That's the base model system. That's an easy enough system to integrate into and just get a really good high level to low level adapter, an audio control, or just get an audio control amplifier for that matter. Integrate into it, yeah, bass, it's rocking and rolling, you're good to go. The more advanced one is going to have tons of microphones up in the headliner and all that other fun stuff, and it's got like 5 million speakers in it. That one's a little bit more difficult because you do have microphones that need to be disconnected, but they can be done at the amplifier. We have not done one of the premium systems yet. We've only done the base model system as far as Bose go, and it's gone okay. SPL 5-star, yeah, I know, right? One of these days, quad box all the way, you know? As I said last night, quad box are for girls. I mean that because Haley had it. Alpine versus Pioneer versus Kenwood, 1-din head units. I mean, I'm just gonna go straight, like, classic, I'd go Alpine. Like, Alpine had the lock on the single din market back then, but I could not tell you who makes what feature or any of that in a single din right now. I have no clue. If I have to go single din, I'm going a short chassis. But I don't know who's making what. I mean, you know, if you want the best, get the Sony GS9. But, you know, that's not for everybody. Any luck on the chip crisis caused an audio control amp is still not available in the Netherlands. No, they just did, Audio Control just did their training today, which was nice. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch it, head over to Facebook, watch the rebroadcast of it. It was pretty cool. It was talking about what they call a special sauce, adding in cool little features, or talking about some of the products that Audio Control makes that you might not necessarily think about. So Matthew and Chris did a real bang-up job on that one. It was pretty cool. Get to play with the ZZ2 Zeus yet. I have not got the Zeus in. I probably won't get the Zeus in until after Knowledge Fest, so probably be next month before I get to play with the Zeus. But I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. How do you determine how big system the car can max have? So it's funny. Most of the time, like, we don't do big systems. Like, we're not doing, 5Ks and 10Ks and stuff like that. Most of our systems are the average person, so to speak, in the sense that it's like, it's either a 5-channel amp or a mono block and a 4-channel amp or a 6-channel amp. But it's not that 12,000 watt, 10,000 watt, 5,000 watt system. We don't build those. It's not our thing, so to speak. Most of this, all the systems we build, it's not even the most, all the systems we build are within what is a safe operating for the car. I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to say that where it makes sense, but yeah, we don't have those issues. Okay, is using the DSR-1 on the Silverado Nambo is better than the Amp Pro? Man, that's it's funny. We actually, when we would do those, we would do the Amp Pro into the DSR-1. That was kind of our go-to thing there for a long time, was just doing it that way. I would say that if they're an FM or a Sirius XM guy, then doing the DSR-1 without the Amp Pro, just plugging it in and tuning it from there, is probably going to make more sense, just because that mono audio that comes out of the tuner section when you do the Nambo's Amp Pro is kind of sucky. We've done them both ways. We've done Amp Pro and Bose. Amp Pro and DSR-1, or just straight DSR-1, no Amp Pro. I don't know if I could sit here and be like, oh my God, there was the difference was insane. I don't know if I could do that. The DSP does a lot of magic for us, so. Yeah. Morel Maximus with DSP or Elates without DSP. Oh. Ooh. Man. Wow. I mean, obviously the answer is Elate with DSP, but I get the point. We have a ceiling we're trying to hit. Man. That's one of those questions where if you'd asked me like 5 years ago, I'd just say, get the Elates, they're the best. But the advantage of the DSP is so much. I mean, we just did, last night before we left, we had an old MR2 Spider. I wanted to go live, but it was just one of those things where it was like, because I wanted to show you guys, we did a set, off the factory radio of this old car, we did a kicker key on, it's just 4 speakers in the car, 2 tweeters, 2 mids, on a set of Maximus, Mark IIs, kicker key, and it was incredible. It was just like, wow, it was more sound than this car could handle, because, it was just vibrating the car apart. It was just 4 6.5s and 2 tweeters. It sounded really nice. Those tweeters, Morel tweeters, are just so big. The sound is just so big off of those. Man, Maximus is a great speaker, but that just seems like one hell of a jump. Why not go up to the Virtus? I'd say Virtus in a DSP would be nice. I don't know, man. I think that's too big of a jump. Sonys have single DINs that have 100 watts output, or so they say. You could check it out and test it out. They do make, and actually somebody has already done that. Years ago, there was a shop called Sonys, and they brought in they had an amp dyno, and they amp dyno the Sony radio. And I don't remember what they got out of it, but it was pretty close to that 100 watts. I'm with you, I'd love to amp dyno it just to see again, but yeah. 100 watt it is. It's sounds high power or 100 watts peak, 50 watts RMS, which is still more than what most radios do. Dean, would you use a matrix out of an epicenter after the DSP? So you'd use the matrix first, but you don't need so if you're going with an audio control, you don't need a matrix, because the matrix is built into the DM608 and 810. It's already built into it, so you wouldn't necessarily need the matrix So you wouldn't do like a Matrix 608 and a epicenter. It would be overkill. You already have it built into those pieces. So yeah, don't do that. I mean, you can if you want. It's your money. You have a lot of boxes, but the idea is to minimize the boxes. But it's always DSP, epicenter, amplifier. Late with DSP, always, of course. Dean, I did 212 JLW3s in an MTI box. Windows down, it banged hard. Windows up, I lose about 70% of the bass. Why? That's actually a real easy one. You're restricting the airflow of the driver. So, for example, basically you're sitting inside of a bandpass enclosure, all right, where your cabin has a certain amount of air, all right, and you're sitting inside of it. The subwoofers are pushing that air. When you crack the window, you increase the amount of air that the subwoofers have to draw on. Think of it as like changing the port size. The woofers can breathe more and produce more sound. You've increased, because remember, subwoofer is just air move. Sound is just air, okay? Subwoofers move the most air, so they're the most that are affected by air. Anytime, that's the, you know, that's the biggest trick in the book, you know? It's like, how do I get more air? Crack the window. It's like, gets so much louder. But yeah, that's one of those old unfortunate problems that we've been dealing with. The same is true like in a hatchback, or I'm sorry, not a hatchback, like a sedan. Like if you fold the seat down, the bass gets so much louder, and it's not just because of the seat that's in the way, it's because you're increasing the amount of air into the trunk, which means the woofers can get louder. Think of it as a bigger box. Small box, subs aren't so loud. Bigger box, subwoofers get louder. No big deal, but that's what's doing it. It's unfortunate, but yeah. Some cars are worse than others. Hey Dean, do you know any good installers in Hawaii? I don't, but there are a couple, at least there was before COVID, that we've talked to before. At least I knew there was a couple on Maui, and I think Oahu. I'm sure there's got to be somebody on the Big Island, but off the top of my head, I do not know. I don't remember them. Late no DSP and add DSP later. Well, I mean, yeah, there's always that. Any experience with Subaru Forester Harman amplified? I did two-way speakers in the 6x9 locations, and they get no highs, only bass. Is that an active channel from the Harman amp? Yes, it is. We run into this problem a lot of the times, similar question to that, where someone will buy a car, an older car, not necessarily newer, and it'll have a premium sound system. Bose, Harman, JBL, Beats by Dre, you name it. And immediately they listen to those speakers in the doors, and they're like, man, these things suck. There's nothing coming out of these. So they go on to the internet, and they grab a set of new 6x9s. It has a three-way set. They put them in there, and they still suck. And they're like, hey, how come these suck?
Pulling something in?
I don't know. You're good. Anyways, they still suck. And then they come to us and go, hey, I can't hear the tweeters. I can't hear that. Well, it's a premium sound system. Just like if you were to take the sub-channel of your amplifier that you have in your car and hook up a set of 6x9s to it, you wouldn't hear that tweeter. Those door speakers are the mid-bass driver for those. Hey, John.
Hey, boss.
How you doing?
Good.
You need to go up front?
No, I was going to come in the back way. I'm all good. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're not. I'm getting... Anyways, those tweeters are just not going to play because of that active crossover on the amplifier. Which truck is this?
That's my bigger truck.
Is this the one with the Focal system in it?
No, this is the one with nothing in it.
Oh, is this the one we're going to do?
That's what I'm hoping.
Cool. I'd show you the Focal system, but it's not in here, so we have to put a stereo in it. All right, listen, thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. We're going to let you go and get on with your day. Tonight is Thursday night, which means one thing, reverse polarity and side jag. That's two things. But if you saw Black Widow and you want to get our take on it, I think Scott from Power Hog is also going to be on there at 9:45. Tune in to Side Jag. Otherwise, at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, right before it, Tune in to Reverse Polarity on the Hi-Fi Vega network. He and I are going to be talking serious car audio. I don't remember saying that, but we're going to be talking serious car audio, and we're going to have a gay old time, as Fred Flintstone used to say. And with that, you guys have a great rest of your day. It's Thursday. Tomorrow morning is the news, so if you want to know what's going on in the world, and just the world of car audio, I should say, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 9 o'clock on Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips, the channel, and we're going to tell you what's happening in 12-volt news. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. You okay? Yeah. Oh, there he is. I know you guys are going to be upset if you don't get to see Fernando before.
Hey!
You good?
What's going on? Yeah.
I don't know. I was just wrapping it up. Is the baby secure?
Not yet. I gotta put the seatbelt. Yeah.
What's up, everyone? How are you doing today? Fernando, how are you?
Awesome.
You want me to charge that?
Yeah. For the charger.
You don't have it over there? I mean, I have mine over here.
What?
Morel's in the house. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
I don't know what I put it yet.
Gotcha. Yesterday, I was trying to think of the name of the person that was building the Morel car. His name is Joey Knapp. I spy some Hertz boxes. Really? Where?
Where?
I mean, there's one like way over there, but
Hertz.
I don't. No Hertz boxes. I spy a mess, like typical Friday, like we're done and we need to sweep up and all that. 2020 camera. Is there a bass roll off if I use high level for bass amp? Will it be good, or do I need an LC1? Well, an LC1 isn't for bass roll off. LC1 is just a regular high level to low level with line driver. LC2i Pro has AccuBass for bass roll off, and yes, the car does have a bass roll off. So if the amplifier you're doing doesn't have some form of boost, bump, something, then yeah, I would go for the bass roll off. Are you taping that to the wall?
Of course, I'm gonna put my 12.
Okay, let's join Fernando. Arturo's in the house. What's up,
Arturo?
Arturo? Hey guys.
Look at that. I'm gonna put some 12 in my.
It's not gonna stick.
Dang it.
Like, we have double-sided tape.
Dang it.
What?
I got subwoofer and there you go.
You got a bucket
It's a
between
lot
your
of
ports?
rattling, that's why I fell off.
All right, well, let's take a look at this Honda Civic that we have in the bay here today. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Pretty sure Nando was putting empty Hertz boxes in the back seat of the Chevy.
No, wait.
Well, it's not a Chevy, so it is. Is the LC1i really selling for? I have no idea how much it's selling for right now. What's up, guys? All right, so we have a Honda. This is a Civic.
Yeah.
And it has an amplifier that we installed, so let's take a look at Fernando's fancy fuse holder right here. We did what we call the, I guess we call this the one screw T-mount. This is the most basic of the fuse holder mounts that we build, where it just, you know, your battery has these posts that come off of it. We remove it, we build our bracket, we put it on, we put another bolt. So there's two bolts. The factory bolt is holding the bracket, and then the bolt that holds ours, so that you pull our bracket off, and then you still have the bracket in place to hold the battery. It's not a structural part of the battery mount. But that's yeah. See, there's your bolt for that, and then there's another bolt underneath it. So that is the basic T-style fuse holder. These are some of the nicest, easiest ones to build. They don't take a lot of time, and they look really nice. As you can see, it's presenting the fuse holder very well. Clear red shrink wrap on it. It's easy to see, easy to service. There's no mistaking what it is, and they're really built well. I like doing those. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But all right, moving on. In the back here, for his bump in the trunk, he went with the Rockford factory P312 box with a grill. One of the things I really like, whether you love or hate them, I don't really care. But what I love about Rockford is this grill. They make, you know, this mesh. JL makes a grill like this. Alpine makes a grill like this. If you know other people that make grills like this, shout them out. But I like this. It gives us full coverage of the driver, so you don't have to worry about anything other than unless they have like boxes of metal rods back here. I like
even
this.
I mean, you're gonna damage the grill, not the speakers. So
Right.
That's what the goal is.
I don't really care for the spoke style rim grill. Like, to me, I hate those. They're cheap, they're plastic, they're really just aesthetics. They don't protect the woofer at all. That's why, you know, it's like, man, I'd love to do other woofers, but in this case, trunk mount, I'm gonna be abusive. I'm gonna throw my gym bag in there. I'm gonna do all that. I gotta go this. Sometimes you have to go utilitarian over function, or over favoritism, so to speak. Now in the dash, he just has a bunch of CDs, FLAC files, whatever. He's like, I don't need screen. So I was like, all right, whatever. So he actually asked for the Kenwood, this particular one, the DPX504BT. Yesterday they were asking about microphones, and I had thought they were talking about our microphones, and they were asking about Bluetooth microphones. You know, it's crazy. A lot of stuff going on in our world.
Audio.
I don't know. I was getting excited. Anyways, here's our standard position for a Bluetooth mic. It's up high, it's close to your face. As I said, this is also a really popular spot. What you want to do when putting your Bluetooth mic in, pro tip, here we go, Bobby's gonna miss this one, is fold the mirror up and down and make sure wherever this is, the mic is not sitting behind it here, because if it is, guess what? When you fold down this, the people aren't gonna be able to hear you talk. So make sure wherever you put the mic, your sun visor is not in the way of it. Can't tell you how many times we have people come in and it's like right here. And it's like, how do you talk on the phone when you're driving in the sunlight? That must sound really good. So make sure it's over far enough. In this case, the Honda, it's on the mirror, as you can see. Ooh, look at me. Out of the way, perfectly cool. The reason why we left the center console off though is because we wanted to show you this. These are the Kenwood KX, right? KS, thank you. KS crossovers. We made a mount, as you can see, attached to this area here. There's a bunch of these random screws.
That's the new ones. That's the KSS650.
Thank you, Fernando. There was a couple empty holes in here. We put a nutsert into it, and now we were able to screw into this, and then all our wiring comes up through the center console. The other thing is that, as you'll notice, there's no factory tweeter in this car at all. So this is the KS, which will come over to this one. This is that KS eyeball tweeter. Shining the light on that.
Oh, look at that.
As you can see. And so this gave us the ability to add in a tweeter to his A-pillar. They're aimable. They're very easy to mount, as far as, you know, you just have one hole to drill, and then you can aim them and get them all nice. And if I come back here, you can kind of see it on the pod there. And that brought his sound stage up. I mean, we were just gonna have 6.5s way down here, coaxials, and I'm like, hey, you know, Kicker offers this tweeter that's really unique. And, you know, I described it to him, because he wasn't here, as kind of like a flood lamp kind of thing that you'd see in somebody's yard. And he was like, dude, if it gets me a tweeter up on my dash, I'm down. Because he was worried about that. And so there we go. What's up, Oscar? Hola, amigo. So now we have this, you know, A-pillar mounted tweeter. It's real easy to focus. It's you know, it's friction fit. So like, you know, it's tight. So you got to really grab onto it and manhandle it into position, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about it drooping when you hit a bump or anything like that. But that is those tweeters. Now, let me slide the seat. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, it's just really hard to hold a phone and slide a seat. And the tweeters look good out of the way. Yeah, you know, they're like, we'll go here back in the back seat, and you know, from back here, see if I get wide enough. There you go. That's what they look like. You know, so it's not like they're huge.
No.
And there again, it's a great solution for getting the sound from way the heck down here to up on the dash. And let me tell you, it sounds 100% better than I mean, it's like, oh God, that would have sucked.
Well, the stage goes off, you know, like.
Let me borrow the light for a second. Thank you.
Just give me back.
So to power the whole thing is the Kenwood 901.5. We talked about this amplifier a lot. It is a very cost-effective 5-channel amplifier. Of course, we made a bracket to mount it into the seat. And we put a piece of a kick panel over the bass knob input right there. Wires all go up into the carpet. It's screwed into place, but that tucked up underneath the seat. So this is what's powering the whole system. So, we were kind of concerned because it was just going to be 4 coaxials and a subwoofer with an amp and a radio. And we're like, oh, that's going to suck. Hi, Elias.
Elias.
So, we wanted to make sure that it was able to kind of, finish the deal. Now, so what we have for speakers, as you can see, it makes sense now, is that these are actually kicker speakers that went into this, not the Audison speaker. I'm sorry, the Hertz speakers that went into this. And then we just did the KS matching 6.5 coaxials. These guys here for the rear. Cool amp. Yes, it is. And it is cool because it has a fan built into it. Yeah. So basic, nice. Now I can go for some beer. I mean, it is Friday and it's like 5 o'clock. So by all means, man, hit it.
Let's go.
Yeah. No, but this is a nice system. This is a nice one-day system for us where we can get it in. He didn't do fast rings. He didn't do roadkill. It would have been nice to do fast rings, but it wasn't in the budget. It was, to me, this is one of those times where it's like, it was $200 more to go with the components. And I only know that because I had to talk to him and Paul gave me the price, which I gave to him. Otherwise, I would have had no idea. But for $200, it was like, okay, what are my choices? Go with components or go with fast rings? And maybe some sound treatment or just some sound treatment in general. For $200, adding those tweeters up to the dash made this system go from, yeah, that sounds good, to, wow, this is a totally different car. So who's ready for K-Fest? I'm pretty sure everyone's ready for K-Fest at this point.
Totally, man.
If you're in the industry and you're not going to K-Fest.
Did you get those boxes built yet?
Did you get my cheese whiz, boy? Nando's drink of choice. Ooh, good question.
I drink no, most.
Okay, beer. Beer is gonna be Corona.
Yeah.
Naturally, he'll take a Corona.
Yeah.
Very light drinker though. Doesn't go crazy.
No.
He is
and
responsible.
if I'm gonna drink like hard alcohol, that would be Crown.
I'm dreading doing my wife's system about to go pay someone at a shop. Don't, man. Time, money, it's all fun. Does your hair gel mess up with your convertible top when the top is down? So here's the funny thing. All right, there is no hair gel here. This is 100% spiky natural stuff. Like, if in Elias, you've seen me in person. Next time you see me, I swear to God, by all means, take your hand and go like this. Okay? You'll be like, oh my gosh.
It's so soft.
It's so soft. And I only know this because to me it's not. My hands suck.
All right, guys. So if you go into Notch Fest, the next time
by all means, go.
Before you start like, hey, Dean, you just grab him.
Just grab me. Don't grab me. Just go. Oh my gosh, it's like baby hair soft, and it is because, as you know, it's all very delicate hair up here. But no, there's nothing that goes into this. Now Fernando, on the other hand, does do gel. And you can tell he's had a rough day because at the end of the day, all his hair will be nappy and down. I'll be like,
dude, it's hot in here, then just dripping over here.
All right, hold on. What do we got here? Question.
Dream system for you, Nana.
Tina's asking for it. Hey, man, I feel that literally with doing this, I'm asking for just about every form of silliness that could possibly. Didn't say gel. Oh, what did he say? Yeah, does the hair get messed? Oh, does the hair? I don't know why I said gel. I saw gel. It's just like yesterday. I saw Bluetooth. I saw camera mic and not Bluetooth mic. But the hair get messed up with. No, there's nothing here, man. But no. But by all means, next time you see me though, just rub my head. I feel good. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Gently. Ooh, so gently. But no, there's no hair to get messed up. But I do love driving with a convertible top down. Ask Fernando, every night when I leave, what's the first thing we do? Top goes down.
Yep, every
top
day.
goes down. It's just weird. Not yet. I like making everything at the last minute. That's Oscar telling you about the boxing. I think that's kind of the 12-volt mantra. Is that
I got time.
I got time.
Holy cow, I don't have time. Yeah. I think for me, the dream system, that will be just keep testing systems.
Oh, never settle, just always whatever
No,
we can get her.
because like, okay, every speaker is gonna have different signature of sound.
Yeah.
So I would love to try some.
You know, I like to think of it as kind of like a smorgasbord or a buffet. Yeah, it's like a buffet with some of the best food ever. I mean, hands down, one of the coolest things we get to do, no question about it, is hear and play with some of the coolest stuff ever.
Totally.
And of course, report it to you guys and tell you all about it. You know, when we put the Morel hybrids in his car, we were like, really oh my God, these are amazing.
Oh my God.
Took those out. Right now, the sound, the ground zero, uraniums are in there, and we're like, oh my God, you know, oh my God, you know, and
it's like, it's really hard for you. Probably gonna be like, oh really? But like, which one is better? And it's like, it's really hard. It's really hard because like,
you know, like
both of the speakers.
It's like trying to get a cake made by Duff or Buddy. You know, it's like they're both cool cakes.
One and then you taste the other one.
Oh
like,
God.
Yeah.
But you know, so and God only knows what speakers are going to be next. You know, we have the German Maestros.
Yeah.
Which I don't think those are going to go into his car. We have another plan for those, but we don't want to do anything with them yet until Friday. This coming up Friday, not today Friday, but next Friday, German Maestro is going to be here. So we're going to do the news in the morning and tell you again, but then that night, German Maestro will be here to tell us what in the hell is going on with German Maestro being MB Court. What is MB Court now?
It's coming back.
And who's who and what's what? Because I got to be honest with you, it confuses me. And they've already told me, and I'm like, I don't know. So we'll have them here Friday to once and all educate us all. It'll be on YouTube. Standard time, 6:30 Eastern. We'll of course remind you every day next week, but we're super excited. I used split loom for my mic install, and the headliner, the smallest diameter gauge. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm going over to see Fernando because if you're not using split loom on your mics, you should, because like it's a thin wire and it's very silly. But this is the 1/8 inch split loom that we use for all our microphones.
This is just for microphones.
So we use split loom for two things. We use it for microphones and we use it for backup cameras.
Yeah.
And that's all it. We still stock.
And for the backup cameras,
we use 1/4 inch. Yeah,
it's
just the 1/4 inch stuff.
Yeah, but that's it. That's the only thing we use.
Yeah.
Split loom for.
Love my hybrid 63s.
Oh yes, yes.
On a convertible, do you tune with the top down? So with a convertible, you could actually do both. You could tune with the top up and the top down if you have presets, because most cars will have a different tune for the top up and the top down. So, well, of course, you'd want to tune for both if you have the opportunity. And so that would be telling you that if someone is critical about the way their system sounds as opposed to just, as we all say, loud, then tune for both. If you're like me and like you don't drive with the top up ever unless it's raining, then there's no point in doing a top up tune, because my top is always going to be down. I could care less what it sounds like with the top up, because I'm not driving around listening to it like that ever. Do you like the JBL GX speakers? I don't think we've heard the JBL GX speakers.
I think so.
Did
I think we? Yes, we installed them. But that was nothing crazy, right? That was just changing speakers, I believe.
Do you have a dream car? I know you do.
My dream car, yes.
What is your dream car? Okay, let me rephrase that, because he asked for dream car. So I feel a dream car should be a car that there's no chance in hell you're going to get unless you win the lottery. And then there's the dream car that is like, you know, if I can get my life right, or, you know, in like 10 years, I could possibly own this car.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
My expensive car, that will be the Hellcat the Challenger.
Okay.
You know, Dodge Challenger.
But I still feel that's almost like an obtainable car.
Dude, that's like an $80,000 car.
Okay,
I would not buy an $80,000 car.
Out of just practicality, even if you had the money, you wouldn't do it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I mean, that would be my dream car. Like, that's
Okay.
it. If I have the stupid money.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
And the other one, just a project car that I would definitely, that would be a Beetle.
But you'd probably spend the same amount of money on.
No, I just spend 20. That's it.
Oh, just 20.
Dude,
20 on a Beetle.
A Beetle. Dude.
I got a $4,000 Beetle, but I put 20 grand into it. It's mine forever.
1963
They're
Volkswagen.
They're gonna bury me in this car.
I have to
dig a deep hole, deep and wide. All right, let's go on. Okay, ask me that. I got in the JVC quarter-inch
on siphon, and I'm trying to put it on everything. Okay.
I mean, when it comes to foam like that, don't stick it on top of itself. Because, like, it'll stick to everything but itself. It'll pretend like it's going to stick to itself, but it doesn't.
Christian, put it in your ears in the phone.
Yeah.
Oh my God, quiet. Not quiet.
Have y'all tried the ZZ Air CP?
Not yet.
I just have the ZZ2 for CarPlay. I mean, if that's this, I think that is the ZZ Air.
ZZ2?
Yeah, ZZ2.
Oh, that sounds like a...
I think it is the ZZ Air. But yeah, wireless CarPlay, when you plug it into your factory USB that has CarPlay wired. I have it in my car right now. I've been using it for about 3-4 weeks. Works flawlessly. We will have the ZZ2 interview up next week. We have 2 interviews left to put up. One is Sony, one is them. So we have those 2 guys left to do. I know.
88 Monte Carlo. Ooh, I love those. It's big.
Ooh, 88 Monte Carlo SS.
Yeah, that's big car, man.
Dude, I worked on too many of those, man.
So
everybody had a Monte Carlo.
Yeah, I can. I always love the low riders, and 64 Impala. That would be like.
No, actually, Elias, we do want to interview you. That's the problem. That we have a show that we want to do, and we want you to be our first interview.
Yeah.
By the time we go to interview it, though, you'll probably be 6 different companies later at this point. Good God.
Yeah. But we have a plan.
We want to interview you for a different reason other than Sound Digital and Ground Zero. We want to actually interview you, the person. Why
are you Elias?
I mean, because his parents named him that, but I mean, whatever.
Why?
Can you run 6 speakers on a 4-channel and still get the full potential of all 6 speakers? Like when you do 4 speakers on 4-channel amp. Okay, full potential of the speakers. All right, so there's a couple things that we have to look at. I think there's 2 scenarios in which case this question can be asked.
Right.
So let's say we have 4 6.5s. All right, and we're gonna put 4 of the 6. I'm sorry. Let's say we have 6 6.5s. Okay, because I gotta get my. So we have 6 6.5s. 4 of the 6.5s are gonna go on channel 1 and 2, and 2 of the 6.5s are gonna go on channels 3 and 4. Now, as a 4-channel amp, let's say it's a 50 watt by 4 amplifier at 4 ohm. So if you put a 4 ohm speaker on each corner, it gets 50 watts. Now that amplifier at 2 ohms is going to increase its power some. It's not going to double like it used to back in the day, but you're going to go, let's say, to 80 watts by 4 at 2 ohm. So the front 2 channels are going to be 80 watts by 2, and the rear 2 channels are still going to be the 50 watts by 2. Basically, that's going to break down to 40 watts per speaker in the front and 50 watts in the back, which means that the front is still going to be substantially louder than the rear because you have 80 watts going to 4 speakers, twice the driver size, everything about it. It's almost double the power, so it's going to be, you have double the speakers, which gives you that bump, and then you have almost double the power, which gives you that bump. So with quasi-math, you're probably looking about 5 dB louder than the rear, which is a substantial sound difference. So as far as whether you're going to get the full potential of those speakers, I'd say yes. However, the thing you run into now is now you're running that Class D amplifier at 2 ohm. If it's made to run at 2 ohm, which some Class D amplifiers do really well at 2 ohm, some Class D amplifiers do not do well at 2 ohm. It really comes down to the price point of that Class D amplifier. That's why you'll see a lot of these not expensive amplifier lines make the 4-channel amps Class AB, because they know you're going to load those things down, and they know they're not paying for the best Class D circuitry, so there's no reason for them to make that and have you load that thing down. That's the caveat there. So now the question is, what if I have a set of components, 6.5 tweeter and a 6.5 coaxial, like we just did in the Civic? You have those KS 6.5 and tweeter up here in the front. You have a KS 6.5 coaxial in the rear, and these passive crossovers that are here in the armrest underneath that piece of ABS. Now that's going to give us a 4 ohm load for front and a 4 ohm load for back. We're going to have to go passive because we can't put each speaker on its own channel, and then we'll end up with 50 watts front, 50 watts back. What's that?
Car's done.
Oh, okay. We got to finish putting the center console back together. So hopefully that. All right, moving on. Oh. Really, Morel makes amplifiers. Yes. Yeah, they do. They're right here. So this is we actually dynoed this one live, the MP 1.550. It's 550 watt sub amp. And then this is the MPS 4.400, which is the highs amp. And then they make a 5-channel. This is AB, this is D, and the 5-channel is an ABD. So it's AB for the 4-channel and a D for the sub. Now they have the 45th anniversary amps that are finally coming out. Hopefully we'll get to see those. We're definitely going to see those at Knowledge Fest. Woohoo! And I say that meaning we probably won't, but we may be getting one at some point. According to Natasha, we might have one coming. Might. So really got my fingers crossed on that one. If we get it in, you guys will know immediately, because we're immediately going to open it. We're going to play with it. We're going to get it in Fernando's car. We're going to have some fun with it, and we're going to see what it can do, because they're pretty excited. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, because of COVID, it got kicked back like a year and a half, and it totally sucks. But man, I can't wait. But for those of you that are interested in a reasonably priced, high-end, awesome branded 4-channel amplifier, check out the Morels, because the price point on the Morels is silly for what you're getting. I mean, it is honestly one of the best priced amplifiers you're going to find for what it is. And there, of course, is the new Morels. These are the hybrids, and there's the Illusions. Woo! There's the 25th anniversary Ground Zeros. Anyways, awesome tweeters. God, those tweeters are amazing. The 25th anniversary had the uranium tweeter in it, which is now in Fernando's car. And man, I gotta tell you, those things are smoking. Morel has 3 amps, but there should be a 150x2 soon. There you go.
That's Elias. Where's my amplifier?
Elias doesn't know. All right. Hello, guys. Just got out of physical therapy. Oh, Bobby. Man.
Hope everything is good.
We'll stretch a little for me, because I'm feeling kind of tight right now. Kicker for the win. You're funny, Bobby. Will they be at K-Fest? Morel will be at K-Fest. So yeah, we're working on what's gonna happen with them still. I don't know, but yeah, they'll be there. They will be there and have a car, and we get to talk and have lots of fun. So we're pretty excited at that. On the Kenwood dash cams, do you wire them to constant or accessory to get parking mode to work? If it is a 3-wire camera, then it's gonna go, the higher end ones are 3-wire cameras. So if you buy the high end one, it's constant, total, accessory, and ground, and then it'll work. If you buy the cheaper one, like the JVC, like I just used, or the entry level Kenwoods, those are 2-wire cameras. And yes, you would have to wire that to constant 12 volts to get the bump thing to work. I don't know if I recommend doing that, because to me it just seems like a bad idea, but you know, whatever works for you. I would spend more money and get the better camera, personally, the better camera, but they both work great. We used the JVC one on vacation, so that was really fun. Hey, from Iowa!
Iowa, what's up?
The Kenwoods are only 2-wire. You know, there again, that's something that we talked about with Seth when he was here on the camera show a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, I should say. I honestly don't remember what we talked about. I feel on the better ones, he was saying that the bump circuit works. Honestly, I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it. But, you know, I don't know. To me, if it's an accessory hookup, I'm hooking it up accessory. But I think it has a timed out thing where it only turns on for so many minutes and then it turns back off. I don't remember though. Was there a video on Morel Amp Dyno? Yes, there is. It was our first Amp Dyno. It was live, and then we did it. I cut it out of that and put it up as a standalone video. So there is a Morel Amp Dyno video on the channel. So I think if you like Google them or go to YouTube and type in the name, which is the MPS 1.550, you should be able to find that Amp Dyno. The hardwire kit checks for the battery voltage so it doesn't drain the battery. So there you go. Why did you ask the question if you knew the answer? Get the hardwire kit. Yeah, so that makes total sense. What would be the best shallow subwoofer?
Depends. Yeah, it's a lot of
depends. But if you
really nice
if you want to know more about Audio Mobile and their shallow mount subwoofer, and the guy there is super educated, and he talks a lot about it. You can go check out the video we just put up yesterday on Automobile. They have their shallow mount subwoofers and passive radiators, and it was a good listen. So I mean,
and if you know, you can check any other brand.
Yeah, there's a lot of shallows.
They make these.
Just you know, the ones we use here most of the time are going to be the Kicker KS or the L7Ts. Those are kind of our go-tos right now. Scar has an amazing, Arc, Jesus.
Wow.
Same letters. Anyways, Arc has an amazing shallow mount woofer that we just got to listen to and review in the in their truck.
Series? No, that's the other one?
No, it's the other one, the new one. When are you getting the Arc Audio X2 Amp Dyno videos? As soon as Arc sends us an amplifier to Dyno.
Yeah.
Right now with Arc, we're going to do some stuff for them at some point. Right now, we're just kind of in limbo because we have so much other stuff we're just trying to catch up on. I didn't want to bring in more stuff and have to wait, have to make them wait. So that didn't make sense. So, because I'd really like to take a listen to their RX speakers and something other than a Brian install, because they sound amazing and I want to hear them in like a crappy install and see how amazing they still sound. So we're going to do that at some point. It's just a matter of getting time to do it at this point.
And for the B2 audio amplifiers, we don't carry that brand, so I think that would be hard for us to get, hands on that product. But if you can check Steve Mead, he does a lot with B2 audio. Yeah. So check it out. He's been dyno and testing all those amplifiers.
We are not becoming an ARC dealer. There's already one ARC dealer in our area.
Right.
We're just really good friends with them. The thing is I don't necessarily, for what we do, we don't need to become a dealer of everything.
No.
It's just not possible. There's way too much cool stuff out there to sell it all. So, but that doesn't mean we can't bring it to you guys. The goal of the channel is to bring you guys cool content, cool product, talk to you about all the things car audio related. The goal of 5-Star, that retail side, is Paul, and his job is to sell as much stuff and make as much money as possible. So there's two different things that happen here at 5-Star. There's the 5-Star install bay and what you put it together before you pull that up. Fernando, put it together before you pull that up.
It's already done?
Oh, well then don't pull. Is it here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, take it out. Sorry, I didn't know you did it.
I got this, bro.
I don't know what you got. Anyways, the content creation side of things is Fernando and mine, and that's a whole different company. So we can have deals with manufacturers that 5-Star, the retail side, doesn't. It gets really hard to wrap your head around sometimes. My friend wants a system that sounds as good as mine, only spending what I did on 2 HD cameras and the HD dash cam. I told him good luck. I mean, here's the thing. It's not, obviously he's not gonna get what you have. However, you can get a pretty nice system for a reasonable amount of money. When it comes to like the Haley system, for example, which is the kicker key front stage and a set of really nice components. We just did one of my favorite systems now, which like we've done a couple of them now, and it's like the Maximus from Morel and a kicker key on the front stage. It's freaking awesome. It's simple, it's affordable, it sounds great, and it's not going to break the bank with a P powered, Rockford woofer in the back, or going with like a key 501 on some form of a subwoofer enclosure. You're in that for a couple $1,000 and it sounds fabulous. It's not going to be as loud or as like crazy as a full, DSP, a Focal system, but you're getting a DSP system. It's going to be active, it's going to be nice, and you're going to have a good time with it. So yeah, you can definitely get into something like that for sure. All right, so anyways, well guys, I think that's it for Friday. Thanks so much for playing along with us today. It would be cool to see you guys get a demo and Steve meets Tahoe. It would be cool. But I did find out that this SEMA, we will be hanging out in the audio control booth, and supposedly he is supposed to be there too, which I can tell you is a cool thing, because him and Fernando, those guys hit it off, man, like peas and carrots. Like those, I mean, they're about the same height too, which is kind of funny. Steve's not a tall guy. But no, Fernando and Steve hit it off exceptionally well. He's a great guy. Once you meet him in person, he's a really nice dude. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. But with that, that's it for now. Make sure to tune in tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to answer on 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time over at YouTube. You guys have a safe Friday night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.